Hey guys, it's Bren, and I'm here with a review for you today of Pumpkin Pecan Waffles. This is the 2016 Pumpkin Collection version with the pumpkin lid. And I say that with such specificity because there are two versions of this candle this year. The other one is in this collection with the rose gold lid. It looks like this. And it matters because this version that I'm going to talk about with you today, I'm 95% sure is different than pumpkin pecan waffles in past years. And I believe that for about three reasons. One is that on cold sniff, a lot of people are getting like an almondy type of note. Now that kind of goes away when it's burning, but I'll get to that. But mainly there's a lot less maple seemingly this year, and the candle is not near as strong as it's been in past years. So I'm going to get into all that, but I have to first say that I am reviewing this version, and there's really two other possibilities for the other version. Either this version in this collection here is the same as this version, and they're both different than in prior years. Or perhaps, if you're a big fan of pumpkin pecan waffles and you don't want it to have changed, I don't know, you can hold out hope that maybe this version here, the other version that I haven't burned, is the same as it's always been. I don't know. I did cold sniff this version in the store, but I just couldn't tell. It seemed to have a little bit of that almondiness, which would indicate that it was more like this. But it also seemed like maybe it had more maple than this one ever did on cold. I didn't have one of these on cold to compare it to, so I just couldn't tell. Then I turned to Instagram and I asked the masses, if anybody had experience burning this other version that I hadn't burned, and if they thought it was different than in past years, or if they thought it was different or the same as the pumpkin collection version. And it was really a mixed bag. I got mixed responses. So I thought about holding off and not doing this review yet and waiting until I had been able to burn both versions, but I've only got like a third of this left. I'm ready to get the review out there. I want to talk about it. So instead, what I'll do is, if I get a chance to purchase and burn this version, which I smelled it in the store, but it was full price, and that's why I have not gone ahead and purchased it yet. But when I do, I will surely update on Instagram and let you guys know if I have the same experience with this version as I did with this version, and I will also update the comments on this video. But that all being said, what I can tell you about is my experience burning the pumpkin collection version that I have here. Now, the disclaimer is I'm not a pumpkin pecan waffles expert at all. I have burned pumpkin pecan waffles in the past as a mini, but I've never purchased a 3-wick because it's just like way too much for me. It's always been too sweet. I'm not a fan of maple. You guys, if you watch me, you already know that. And that's another reason I think it's got to be different this year, because I actually kind of liked this. And I said in my haul video when I picked it up and smelled it in the store, I never would have thought in a million years I would have walked out of there with one of these candles, but it seemed different, and for me, it seemed better. Now, one thing is that on cold sniff, and I said this in my haul too, you kind of got this almond type note. A lot of people are saying they detected like a cherry note. For me, it definitely came across as almond extract, and I wanted that to hold up when it was burning. I would love it if Bath & Body Works would do like a good like amaretto type of sweet almond candle. I don't think they ever have. The closest I've come is Toasted Almond Pure Radiance by Yankee. But anyway, unfortunately, when you're burning this, that's gone. That does not come through when it's burning at all. I don't even really hardly get it in the lid anymore. I definitely don't get it in the candle. That's gone. That's a shame. But anyway, that was just a cold sniff thing. However, the other thing you could tell about this candle is that there was less maple, and that definitely, when it's burning, like I'm not getting any maple. So the notes on this candle, it starts with maple syrup. It says maple syrup, golden waffles, pumpkin spice, brown sugar. I'm really getting no maple. Pumpkin spice, there's never been pumpkin in this candle, ever. They just put it in the name so they can put it in the pumpkin collection, just like a lot of the others. So, and even brown sugar, I'm like, it's barely sweet. So no almond, no maple, no pumpkin, not a lot of sugar. What does this candle smell like, right? And honestly, all that it smells like to me is the second note here, golden waffles. This candle smells like plain old waffles, just the waffle part. perhaps with a little bit of butter, and perhaps with just a little bit of sweetness. I don't really think brown sugar. I think more of like powdered sugar. And in fact, burning this, it actually reminded me, maybe I just had funnel cakes on the brain because of the wallflower, but this smelled a lot more like a funnel cake than the funnel cake wallflower ever did. I get like a greasy, bready type of scent with like just maybe a dusting of powdered sugar, just a little bit of sweetness, but it's very much just a bready bakery. I mean, it's waffles. It's just the waffle part. And I actually was into that and I was enjoying it and I put it on my repurchase list until it got to be about at this point. Honestly, just like the last 1-2 burns for me, and they haven't been very long burns, just once it got past the halfway point and into the last third, it started to smell burnt. And unfortunately, this happens with some Bath & Body Works candles, but I usually, I expect it to happen when it's way down here. You don't like it to happen yet when you still have a good third left. That's such a waste, but it's definitely starting, especially the last time I burned it, which was last night. It was really smelling burnt, and now it smells like a burnt waffle. Like you put your waffles in the toaster and then they get stuck and they stay down in there and it starts smoking. I mean, it's straight up gone from smelling like a yummy, delicious waffle to a burnt waffle. So I'm not really impressed with that. I do still think, probably more just out of curiosity, that I will pick up the other version of it just so I can do like a compare and contrast and update you guys and see if that one's more like last year's or more like this one or whatever. So we'll see if that one does the same thing too. But I don't know if I would recommend picking up this version just because of that. I did like the first half to 2/3 of it, but now it's definitely turned burnt. But even though I have not burned pumpkin pecan waffles in the past, again, I have to say I really believe, and I have burned it, but only in a mini. I have to believe that this year's is different because I don't hate it, and it's not that sweet, and it's not that strong. So pumpkin pecan waffles is infamously known for being one of their, as Sean would put it, DEFCON 5 candles, like super strong. Even when I burned the mini, I remember it being really strong. I mean, I've heard that sticks around at your house, and it gets in your curtains and your clothes and your pets and everything else. This is not that candle. This maybe threw like an adequate 7. Fine. I had no problem with it. You could definitely smell it, but it wasn't going out of this room. It was not hanging around. I mean, it was very average type of throwing candle. And that has to probably be because there's no maple. And I think what was making it strong in the past was the maple. And now they've taken, I want to say, like all the maple out. Like I said, the other version, I feel like I got a little more maple on cold. But there's just no maple in this. And that has to be probably why it's weaker. For me, again, that's a good thing because I don't like maple, but I feel like for most of you, that's probably going to be a bad thing. And this was a good candle that people liked, so I don't know why they're screwing with it. All I can think is they are toning down a lot of the strong candles this year. I've heard Summer Boardwalk, which again is infamously known for being super, super strong. They've toned that down this year. Pumpkin pecan waffles, toning it down. Cinnamon sugar donut. I've heard all these people say that the new fall version is weaker. Why are they doing this? They need to be doing the opposite. They need to be taking the weak candles and making them stronger, not the other way around. But this surely isn't as strong as before. It's still a 7. I had no problems with the burn. So it's fine. I just think it's different. Oh, by the way, pecan's not even in the notes, and there's no pecan in there either. So those are really my thoughts on this version of pumpkin pecan waffles. This is almost less of a review and more of a discussion because I want to hear you guys, your thoughts, your experiences. If you're a big fan and you've burned it a lot in the past and you've burned it this year, then I really want to hear what you have to say. If you have happened to smell or burn both versions, then I'd like to hear what you have to say too. So please, let's turn this into a discussion below. Let me know your experiences. But those are my thoughts on this one. And again, I will be updating on Instagram if I get a hold of the other version, and I'll update the comments in this video if I get a hold of the other version and let you know if I have the same experience with that one as this one, or if that one may be more like last year's. Bath & Body Works surely is doing some weird things with batch variation and stuff, so it's hard to keep up and keep track these days. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I have a couple more reviews to throw your way soon, so stay tuned, and I'll see you later. Bye.